I can hear you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, thanks. I was not expecting you. It's really good to see you.
Okay. All right. So I think we can hear and see clearly.
Yes, I can see you.
Lovely. Hi. So my name is Divyam. Welcome to your Clapingo session. Uh, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure, sure. And okay, so I know you already because I've been watching your content on YouTube, and yes, I admire your work a lot. So
Thank
as
you
you
so
know,
much.
my name is Akanksha, and I hail from Uttarakhand, and I have done my graduation in Bachelor of Science, pursuing Masters in English. I'm married, and I have a baby as well, and simultaneously working on my communication skills and English. That's a bit about my. And
Awesome.
I'm running a YouTube channel as well where I share my experiences of learning this language and try to guide beginners that they can learn this language and share my tips and techniques which worked for me.
That sounds great. That's a good thing. I think in India, we need people who are ready to motivate and encourage people who are a little scared of starting that journey. I think that is the biggest part because they don't know what to do, how to do it. And then even when they find out how to do it, it is incredibly difficult for them to stay motivated, stay positive, that the results will show, right?
Exactly, totally agree.
Yeah. So in your community, what do you think is the biggest problem that you see? Like people, when they comment or they complain about certain things, what is the
Yeah.
biggest issue that you notice?
Actually, your voice is little low. I don't know why.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm saying in your community, what is the biggest issue that you see? I'm sure your community members, they comment, they send you messages, right, about their problems. So what is the biggest problem that you've noticed?
I think it's about gaining confidence while speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is also a very it is a very major problem I would say and common as well. Like when you start as a beginner, it becomes very difficult to gain that confidence in speaking in English language. And because I am also a learner of this language, so I have also experienced this thing. It is very difficult to gain that confidence in yourself that you can speak in this language. So I think this is a very common and major problem.
Right. So in your journey, when you started, right, what were the things that helped you gain confidence?
Yes. So, okay, initially when I started learning this language, I had some myths about confidence, I would say, that I used to feel like a confident English speaker means you are speaking very fast, you are not making mistakes, and you don't get stuck, you don't fumble, and you don't use filler words at all. And this is what I used to feel that if you are a confident English speaker, which means you are just speaking very fast and not making mistakes and all these kind of things. So first, I think uh, understanding that what really confidence is, it is very important, and I made this mistake because I used to feel this way. But when I started practicing and when I used to watch a lot of experts videos on YouTube, then I got to know that they also sometimes make mistakes and they also get stuck. They also use some filler words as well. So it is not about speaking very fast and not making mistakes. So I think first when I understand this thing, after that I started working on my confidence, and which really helped me is of course practice and gaining knowledge every single day. These are the two things which really helped me a lot. Like ever since I started practicing every single day, then only I gain confidence. I still sometimes as well, like if I'm talking to any expert and I'm talking to an advanced English speaker, that time also I do feel little underconfident, but yes, I'm working on it.
See, it's good that you have the awareness that, even I feel confident, but when I'm talking to an advanced speaker or somebody who has a lot of experience presenting or speaking, I feel nervous or I feel underconfident. It's good that you have that awareness. That is very important. Okay. Because unless
Yes.
you have that, you cannot focus on improving that, right? So to fix a problem, you need to be able to understand it. This is the problem with overconfident speakers. They think they're really good, and whatever
Yes.
mistakes they make, they are not ready to acknowledge or even agree that there is a mistake that they're making. So then they
Yes.
can never
Exactly.
fix it, right? The second you become overconfident, you'll stop learning things. You'll stop taking feedback. You look at feedback as criticism, which sometimes people do. They get offended when someone corrects them, right? But
That's true.
I'm not saying everybody who corrects you is good or bad. It depends on the intention as well. So this is one thing that I do. When someone corrects me, I'm not talking about English specifically. Even in my career or in my friendships, if someone says, no, this is not how things are done, I am focusing more on their intention than the words
Mm.
that they're using, right? So if somebody is taunting me, if somebody is insulting me, then yes, I will take it as that. I will not take that as feedback, right? But if
Mm.
someone is genuinely trying to make sure that I don't make a mistake again, or I'm doing something correctly, and I know that their intention is good, it's coming from a good place, right? Then I don't have an issue with their feedback. So it's very important to maintain that positive mindset through people who can give you good feedback, right? People who are
Absolutely.
not judging you, people who are not insulting you for the mistakes that you're making. Whereas you have to follow people, or you have to sort of talk to people or follow people who are focused on your growth, who are helping you. Again, this is not just English, this is in life, because there are so many bad things happening in life that you need to make sure you have a positive environment around you, right?
Yes.
In terms of building confidence, I think you're taking all the right steps. Another couple of things I would like to add is try to introduce more conversations in your daily life, right? And
Mm.
mostly uh, try to keep it with people you don't know. But again, don't do things that are unsafe. Like, don't just randomly go to a Facebook group or something and talk to a stranger or give them your details, right? So a lot of times I've heard this happen.
Yes.
Learners have gone to like a WhatsApp group, Telegram group, Facebook group, that is titled, practice your English conversation or whatever it is, right?
Yes.
And then they've given out their email address or their phone number, and then they end up getting harassed, or they end up getting calls from random companies to, you know,
Mm.
sell them products, right?
Yes. Yes.
So make sure you trust where you're putting in your details. And if possible, don't put in your details. There are a lot of apps and a lot of places where you don't need to put in your details. You can just directly log in, or you can access their platform through a software. Clapingo is one of them, right? We give you an app. You can connect through your profile, but your profile, like let's say you're the learner and I'm the speaker, I cannot see your personal details other than the name that you have put in, right? So
Mm.
when you add your name, it comes up on the screen. But other than I've had a lot of learners who are not comfortable with the name as well. So I've asked them, you can put in your pet name, you can put in anything that you would like to be called. It's not, you're not supposed to put in your legal name for your safety, right? So if you're not comfortable with putting in your name, don't do it. But find platforms that are committed to, your privacy, your security, and obviously your English growth, right? To help you in the right ways. Um, Other than that, confidence can be built through knowledge itself, right? So let's
Yes.
say I'm talking to you about a topic that you love. Let's say your hobby is gardening, or let's say skating, right? Or
Mm.
cycling, and I start talking to you, your confidence level will automatically go up because you're like, yes, I know a lot of things in this topic, right? So I'm
Yes.
comfortable talking. I'm excited to talk. Whereas if I talk to you about science, or I talk to you about, let's say, rocket science, that, oh, we're going to Mars and we're making this rocket, right?
Yes.
Sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, most of the times people will start feeling scared that I don't know anything about this. I read one article 2 years ago and I don't really have any information on the rocket, who's making it, where we are going, why we are going, right? So
Absolutely.
you should put yourself in situations where these topics are difficult for you, right?
Mm.
Because a lot of times people get discouraged that, Arey, I don't want to talk to this person, or I don't want to talk on this platform because they
That's
talk about stuff that I don't know, right? But
Yes.
that is where you're supposed to go, right? Unless they're talking in a different language and they're talking about some major science thing, then you can
Yes.
skip it, right? But if they're normal, simple topics that you don't understand, I highly encourage people to, read newspapers. On Instagram, there are a lot of pages now, that keep you updated on general knowledge. So follow them,
Yes.
not just for the English, but for the information as well, because that information is going to help you continue conversations, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, do you follow any pages like that? How do you get your general knowledge?
Actually, yes, I would like to add something because when I started having conversations on apps and before having video conversations, I used to have audio conversations only. So initially, when I started having conversations, I was not aware. I was only focusing on my English. And when I started having conversations, sometimes people used to ask me any random question. And I used to feel like I don't have any knowledge about this thing. So I used to go and check about it, and I used to feel like, okay, I have to work on these things as well. I have to learn, about different areas and different things about a little bit about science and a little bit about, like cricket or anything. So it's very important to learn a little bit. You don't have to deep dive into it, but of course, you should have knowledge about little bit every single thing so that you would be able to speak if you get any chance to talk about it. And before that, I had a very bad habit that I was not following news, or I was not following anything like what is happening around me, and but ever since I started having conversations, now I try to like watch something on social media that what is happening, and so I try to know what is happening so that if I would get any chance to speak on these topics, I would be able to speak. So yes, it is very important to know a little bit about everything.
Right. I think it always helps. And in terms of this advice, I would like to put a disclaimer. When we say watch news or like get general knowledge, we don't mean like watch news channels on the TV, because I feel when it comes to news channels, their target is to take a piece of information and to stretch it to fill like a 20-minute program, I would say, right? So what
Yes,
happens is it'll take you 20 minutes to learn about one topic, right? Which is
exactly.
not bad if you're sitting at home and if you're having dinner with your family and that is something you do, then you do that, right? But there are more efficient ways to do this, right? There's one app that I really like. It's called In Shorts. I'm not sure if,
Yes, yes, I
yeah, am I saying that right?
used to read uh, articles and news on that application.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's free. I think mostly it's free. They do have a paid program, but I'm not sure what the offerings are. You can go check it out online. But I really like that app because it would give you a summary of any particular news article of that day in about 60 to 100 words. Am I saying that right?
Yes, I think it is very small paragraph, not so lengthy, and it they will cover everything in that paragraph.
Yeah, so that is a very efficient way to learn what's going on, right? You can quickly scroll through the articles, you can read it, you don't have to, you know how in reels nowadays, like influencers do this. They start a reel and then they keep all the information till the end so that they have to watch the whole thing,
Yes,
right?
that,
I get why they do it, I understand the logic behind it, but
yes,
as a viewer, it is very annoying that I have to sit and wait and watch the whole thing, right? But similarly, in the news thing, you can download in shorts. You can even follow Instagram channels that give you only the facts, right? So find channels or find platforms that you think you can get the most information out of really quickly, right? A lot of people take their phones when they use the washroom, right? So take your phone in there and instead of watching reels, just look at a couple of news articles, try to
yes,
allocate some time to general knowledge as well, because the more you know, the easier it will be to talk about things, right?
definitely, absolutely. And yes, actually, I also don't follow news channels on TV because it like recently when the conflict was happening between Pak and India. So they were only talking about, I don't know, they just want to, I think they try to show what they want to show. They don't try to let people know the reality, I would say. And they just I think they have nowadays news channels is also very difficult to believe on them. They are just going to show you what they want to show you, and they are not going to give you any reality. So it becomes very difficult to watch news on TV channels, I would say. But I do follow some social media applications like on Facebook as well. You will find some real pages,
Channels.
yes, channels. I don't remember channel names, but they are going to you are going to show the real news there on Facebook, on Instagram, sometimes on YouTube as well. Although there are a lot of news channels on YouTube as well, they are also, I think, I don't follow them at all. So I think social media is again, it is good if you want to know about real news and if you don't fall for these kind of news.
Right. So you're saying find good sources of news channels.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So just a small correction on the English part. Okay. What you said was grammatically correct, but some words you can use over here to improve your vocabulary. You can say,
Yes,
I don't like how the media twists the story and tries to manipulate the viewers.
yes, yes,
Can you say
absolutely.
that, please?
Yes, I don't like how the news, how the media twist the story and they try to manipulate the audience.
Okay, good, good. So see, you know these words, try to use them more. I know because when I said it, you understood it completely because you know the words, right? But
Yes,
sometimes it becomes difficult to think of it when you're about to say something, all right? So
absolutely.
keep practicing. I would tell you that your personal correction or your personal suggestion, I would say, is to start watching a lot more English shows and movies, right? So
Yes,
in shows, the environment is sometimes about friends who are hanging out together, co-workers in an office space. So what happens is when you're watching that show, you are experiencing conversations, you're experiencing how they are sharing stories with their friends, right? So
yes,
it becomes very easy for you to understand the vocabulary, to understand how they are storytelling, how they can take a certain situation and spin it into a positive or a negative, right? So in that show, it'll
yes,
inform you a lot about how your sentence structure can change, how you can use phrases to your advantage, right? So, twisting the story, this is a phrase that you might hear in a show. It is possible in
yes,
a movie as well, but in the movie, what happens is it's only 60 minutes or maybe 2 hours, right? So, how many conversations will you witness? Whereas in a show, if there are 10 seasons, you will see a lot more conversations happening per episode, let's say per
yes,
30 minutes, than for
yes.
that 2 hours.
And you learn English about different situations, real life.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. So one disadvantage is that it is made for that particular country or city, right? So where are you from, Akansha?
I'm from Uttarakhand.
Uttarakhand. So I'll give you an example, even though it's not Uttarakhand related.
Yes.
Something like Mirzapur. Have you seen the show
Mm,
Mirzapur?
no, I haven't.
No. Have you seen what is that engineering show that had come?
I
Kota?
have seen that. Yes, Kota Factory.
Kota Factory, yeah, Kota Factory, exactly. So, if an American is watching Kota Factory, he may not
Mm,
understand the references of that particular city, Kota, right? Even though as
exactly.
Indians we understand, even if you and
Yes,
I are not engineers, we understand things that they're saying, right? Because we
absolutely.
have friends who have experienced it, or we've seen stories of people going through that particular thing, right? So,
Mm,
similarly, when we watch American shows, we may not understand certain things about them, but that's okay.
exactly.
That is not our target anyway. Just try to understand the English part, how the conversations work, how they use the vocabulary, how they try to
Mm,
get out of situations by using language to communicate effectively, right? And if you do all these things, the news, the shows, understanding phrases that they use to communicate effectively, I think your
yes.
confidence is going to soar really high. I think you'll feel much better, you'll feel much lighter and confident when you're going into a conversation with any level of speaker, advanced, beginner, medium, whatever. Do you
Yes,
agree?
yes. Totally agree. Yes. I mean, thank you so
Lovely.
much. These are very helpful advices, I would say, and I'm definitely going to try. And this was much needed because nowadays I was feeling like, I was feeling like I'm stuck in somewhere. Like I do consider myself intermediate level, but sometimes, you feel like I'm not improving at all. So I think these are the tips definitely going to help me.
Yeah. So again, another vocabulary word I'll give you. I felt like I was plateauing.
But what did you say?
Plateauing.
Going.
Okay, so plateau is like a mountain, but
Oh,
it's a mountain with a flat top. Okay.
okay.
So we say plateau when we feel like, okay, so I'll give you an example. When you're trying to learn English, right? You said that you felt stuck. I think what you're trying to say is, I reached a level, and then
Mm,
even though I worked 3, 4 months on it, I was stuck on that same level. I was not
yes,
able to go up more, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
yes, totally.
Yeah, so that is the definition of plateau. Okay. So a lot of sports persons, they feel that way because they're trying to get to a certain mass level, or they're trying to get to a certain strength level.
Mm,
They do a certain level of training. Let's say you want to lift 100 kgs, right? So you get to 50 or 70 kgs through one level of exercise. But
mm,
then you work for 2, 3 months and you realize that you're only getting to 75 or 76. You're not going at the same level. You're not growing at the same level. So that means you're plateauing. That means you need to find new set of exercises to work
mm,
either a different muscle, or to work yourself, to stress yourself out differently to grow, right? So again, what got you till here will not get you to the next level. So you have to find new exercises and new ways to get to the next level. Got it?
mm. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So you can Google this plateau, okay, and understand how the sentence works. But in this
Yes,
particular situation that you said you felt stuck, the accurate way
mm,
to say is, I felt like I was plateauing. Okay.
mm. I think I have understood.
Yeah. So if you can't, let me just type the spelling because it is a complicated spelling. Give me a
Okay.
second.
Isn't it PLATU?
No.
Okay.
English can sometimes be a funny language.
Yes, it is. A lot
I
of
have sent
times.
it in the chat. You can take a screenshot. And if you
Oh,
don't remember this or you don't find it, just Google the types of mountains and plateau will come up. Okay?
I, yes, yes. I got it.
Lovely. I think that concludes our time.
Yes, yes. And it
Yeah.
was very nice talking to you. I am so happy to connected with you and I learned so many things today.
Yes, I think we can continue learning more things, continue talking about interesting topics. I like your energy. I like your confidence. Keep up the positive, attitude that you have. Okay. And just remember, you're never done learning. So even when you're 50 years old, please remember that you still have to keep learning. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you.
Lovely talking to you too. Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.